Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I got to see. Oh, that's too much. It is way too much. How about that? I'm trying to get my light without blinding you guys. And I want to get the camera set to where you can see it. There is a significant shadow, but that comes from the light above. There's not a thing I can do about that. All right, that's not, I don't know. I may have to learn to paint in the dark. How about that? I'll just learn to paint in the dark. So for all those of you who think you might be painting in the dark, or it's like, I can't learn this, I'm in the dark. Well, so am I. So there we are. I'm just saying. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. Okay, I have something I want to say. Don't worry, it's not mean or anything bad. I have heard that there are some, and I know beginners are always terrified of being awful, making a mistake, doing it wrong, whatever you want to call it. But let me tell you, first of all, one, there is no such thing as quote unquote doing it wrong. Okay, we can make mistakes, but doing it wrong, no, because this is your art. And your art, hello there, hello. Your art is yours. And so, how can you do something that is yours wrong? If you do it this way, then you do it. It would be better for you to jump in and make 1,000 mistakes in one picture than to never try. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right? And there are a few things that once that mistake's made, it can't be unmade, because there are some colors, ultramarine blue, that are staining colors, and once they're on here, they're on here. You're not going to get rid of it. But the most mistakes can be dealt with. There's a mistake right here, and I'm going to tell you the chances of my moving that color is, I'm going to say, probably 0. So I'm just going to come in here with a little bit more color, blend it all out, blah, 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 blah. I don't want blooms. I don't want monkey business, but I want to fix that problem. So then I'll come in and hopefully it'll all work out. Now, if it doesn't, am I going to cry over it? No. Am I going to throw the picture in the trash? No, I'm not. Well, thank you. But I'm saying, seriously, rather than not do something because you're afraid you're going to do it wrong, don't let that fear stop you. Okay, because I'm going to tell you one thing I learned in art college. Fear tells lies. Fear tells lies. And it's telling you're going to goof this up. You can't do it. Oh, you're going to be awful. No, you're not. No, you're not. Jump in and get started. Okay, now that being said, if this is your first time being here, I would not start this part that we're going to be working on in part 2 until you've done part 1. Okay? Because you can get your sky into your grass, and that's okay. Blue and into green will be just fine. Your grass into the sky puts green in the sky, and that's a tornado in the making. I'm telling you, you don't want green in your sky. Blue in your grass, okay. Green in your sky, not so okay. All right? So that's just a little trick you need to know. So if this is your first time being here and you haven't done part 1, it would be a wise move to go back and catch part 1. All right. Now, if you really, this is your first time and you really want to learn how to do this, stick around and watch, because then that way it gives you the live version and you can see how We do things here. But I would seriously go back to the very beginning. And you guys, this is our 14th video. And so it is conceivable that you could paint all the other videos and still be done with this one and ready for next week, because we'll probably be done with this week. I don't know for a fact, but I'm fairly confident. Okay, so better to start than to be fearful, because fear tells lies. That I want you to know. And I'm sorry, I have got to have light. I don't know how I'm going to work this out. I don't know what the best way to do this thing. Does that work? I'm not going to say it's great, but it's better than nothing. Does it work for you? I hope so. There, that takes the picture out of the shadow over here. This is a shadow of the camera right here. Right there. There. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. I could get rid of the camera, but then it would be very hard to do a video. I'm just saying. That's my thought. Okay. We've got the water in. We've got the sky in. If you've got a mistake, you can try to fix it. Okay, this didn't stay. So I've tried now twice, and I don't think it's going to stay. So I'm not going to worry about it. You know what? I can put a bush there, or I can pretend it never happened, or I don't know. We'll just wait and see. Some things that are obvious, you might have to fix it, or you could just pretend it's not there. Okay. Now I will tell you, I don't like this cloud up here, but I did find out that when I put the mat on it, it's not even part of the picture. So I'm just not going to worry about that. I'm not going to fuss with it. I'm not even going to try to fix it. I'm not wasting my time on it. But one thing I will tell you, from time to time, you will have a spot like right here. It grabbed onto that color and it kept it. I cannot fix it. I cannot be frustrated by it. I am sure not going to let it stress me out, because I know that is going to be under the mat. But if it were out here in the middle, I would have to make this become part of the clouds in some fanciful move. I don't know, make a poodle, and that's part of the poodle. Or, you know how people see things in the clouds. I do that all the time. We used to play that game. It was a wonderful game. I loved it. And that will get rid of a problem. Well, it won't get rid of it. It'll always be there, and you'll always see it. Your eyes will go right straight to it. But other people won't. There is also a chance that other people wouldn't notice it anyway. So maybe try showing it to, your mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever, and see what they say. If their eyes go straight to it, then you have to deal with it. Otherwise, you just don't worry about it. Plus, if you are the beginner painter that you very well might be, who cares? I'm just saying, who cares? This isn't probably your masterpiece. If it is, do something with it. If not, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to apply water to this entire, I started to say birdhouse. When we were painting a birdhouse, I kept wanting to call it a lighthouse. What is my deal? I don't know, but this thing that's right here. Okay, make sure you're only putting the water where you want it. Okay, that is one. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use either, and I don't know what colors you have, so I don't know what to tell you. You want either Payne's Gray or indigo. If I had a choice, I would say indigo. If you don't have a choice, Payne's Gray. If you don't have Payne's Gray, You can make Payne's gray. You can mix ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and a touch of yellow ochre. The ultramarine blue and the alizarin crimson will make a rich purple, and then you tone that down with the yellow ochre so that it's not, like bright purple. You want it to be a gray purple. All right, so I've got something here on my palette that is something we used last time, and so I'm going to use it this time. And in your stripes here on your lighthouse, one is red and one is blue. And whatever one you decide, you want this color to be put in the white section. Okay, so we're going to put it in there just on that one side for now, and we're going to blend it just like that. If it gets into the rest of it, okay, fine, let's just blend it on down into it. It's not going to hurt it any at all, and it might even actually help what you're going to do next. So don't get it up in the light, though. You don't want it in the light. This is actually the lamp, the light. You don't want it there. Okay, so we're going to take a look as you have on this side. I'm going to turn my picture upside down, and I'm going to put that color in right here. Not very much. And honestly, you can hardly even see that it's there. It's right there, but you don't really see much about that at all. You can already sort of see, I don't know if you can on the camera, but this white right here is white. A little bit of gray here, a lot of gray here. So where is your sunlight coming from? Over your right shoulder, right there. Right there is where it's going to hit. It's going to hit right in here. It's going to catch. The light will catch all this front area of this grass. It'll get darker as it goes backwards. This bluff will be light here and get darker as it goes back. These rocks are going to have lights that hit in weird places, and we're going to discuss that as we go along. Okay, and you can decide what color stripes do you want on your lighthouse. I have cadmium red, so I'm going to use cadmium red. I'm going to start out light. And I'm going to tell you, because the whole lighthouse is damp, getting a strong edge is going to be right next to impossible. So don't worry so much about that. We're not worried about edges right at this moment. We just want to see where we're going. Now this one right here, that red is really overstepping its bounds. I'm going to come up underneath that and remove that dampness right there. Dry that off. Whoa, it took all the paint. Okay, well, that's not a bad thing either. Let's just dry that a little bit. We want the blue to be there, but we don't want fuzziness, I don't think. I don't think I want fuzziness. I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm getting a better, not such a watery look here. Gonna bring that around here. And I start back here on the left side. Why would I be starting there? Because that's where the dark is. If I'm going to have my paint be darker someplace, I would rather it be darker where the darkness actually is going to be than be in my light area where I don't want it. And we're going to come in here. And I don't have a super wet brush. I am carrying water, but it's not super wet. I want a nice clean line right there, because otherwise I would have a fuzzy they would have a mold problem growing on their lighthouse. We don't want a mold problem on the lighthouse. Just saying, we don't. Okay, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more water because I do want my paint to be wet enough to move. I just don't want it to be soppy. So wet but not soggy. Come on there. Right there's the bottom. Now, if you chose the opposite stripes, that's okay. You can choose that. Nobody, this is yours. This is your lighthouse. You choose whichever way you want it to be. Does not matter to me. And you just do what you do. Okay, I'm going to come back again in this, starting here, going here, and going here. That's still too wet to make a difference, but it's there. Okay, I'm going to blend this a little bit, moving from the medium area into the dark, from the medium into the dark, medium to dark area. Taking the paint out of my brush. Right here is where the light's going to be. Not the light from the lighthouse, the light from the sun. Because this is sort of a daylight. There's daylight here. It's not a darkness sky. Because I wanted to keep this a beginning paint class, and putting a dark sky in, beginners don't put dark in. I don't know why they won't. They refuse to do it. They need to do it. Yes, I would like to visit it. Now, I will say, my daughter and her family, the one that has the 2 kids, went to North Carolina to the Outer Banks, and they got to see several lighthouses. I don't think they got to see Hatteras because I think they were still working on it. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway. Okay, can you see that light? It's kind of got a shine, right? And I don't really know that lighthouses shine, so I want to soften right there. Soften. I want it to be light, but I don't want it to be shiny. This one needs some more red right in here. And I'm going to bring it, blend right there. Okay. Wash out my brush. Pick up my dark color, my indigo. I want to come down in this white area. You notice I'm not going straight down. I'm missing the red. Going to come back in and blend right in here. Blend. Staying out of the red. I'm going to do it again. Right here, right here, right here. Coming out a little bit. Right there, real soft. Then I'm going to pick up some of that dark again, and I'm going to come back in here on that red. Take the color out and just blend that just a little bit. Don't blend it away, just a little bit. I'm going to need to pick up some more. And I've got to remind myself not to pick up what's on my palette because it's got iridescent medium in it. And I really don't want it to be iridescent. That would be really weird. Okay, I'm going to put it right here, and right there. And blend once again. Here. Okay, picking up red. Okay, because here this is wanting to lighten that to almost pink, and I don't want it pink. I want it red. So you notice I'm patting this. Pat, pat, pat. Pat on this side, right here, and a little on this side here, and a little on that side, right there. Okay, I'm going to blend once again here, here, and here. Blending, blending, blend, 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 blend. I've just got a damp brush, not carrying water, not carrying color, just blending. A little bit on this side, just like a line, there's not much to it right there. Just like that. Then I'm taking all the color out of my brush, all the water out of my brush over here on my paper towel. I've got a damp brush, and I'm going to press here and lift, press here and lift, press here and lift. Now, if you are really lucky and you were able to keep white, which is hard, I'm just going to tell you, it's not easy. It would be white. You would need to go back and add pink, a pinker in there. But just that much, taking out that much. Can you see the roundness? You climb to the top of Hatteras? Yeah, I'm too old for that nonsense too. I don't think I could do it. But do you live anywhere close to that? Because we now live in South Carolina. When I was on Periscope, I lived in Arkansas. Then my dad had his heart crash, and we had to go back and take care of him in Indiana. We went back to Arkansas to make sure that our house sold properly and did not get squatters taking advantage of things. And got that all taken care of. Came back to Indiana for a little while, and then moved to South Carolina, where we've got kids that live near Columbia, South Carolina, and kids that live near Johnson City, Tennessee. So within 4.5 hours, we've got all of our grandkids right here, except one, and we don't ever get to see him anyway. We don't ever get to. So, okay, what color do you want your cap on your lighthouse? I don't want it black, I don't think. Well, not black, because I don't have black in here anywhere. And I probably won't have black in here anywhere. Okay, now you guys, I'm going to tell you. My red is wanting to do bizarre things. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it dry, just like that. And then I'm going to go back after it's dry. And when I'm saying dry, I don't mean like in an hour. I'm saying tomorrow. I will go back with the red, and I will just, I'm going to pretend here. I will just clean up these edges. And if it means that I have to make one of these be wider than it is now, then I will. It's not a rule. We have no, there's not anything that says you can't. So do it. It's all right. It's good. I'm going to bring this right down here like that. And I want to blend that a little bit more right there, because this is right down there. With us, we could see that very, very vividly right there. All right, and I'm going to tell you too, if you have places in yours where, okay, we know that this is lined up. We know it is. Sometimes when you paint it, it won't look like it is. It has to line up. Okay, that is just one of the freak things. Now, if it doesn't, your eye will catch on it. And you'll say, there's something wrong. What did I do? Check your lines. If you are afraid of going back, don't get the whole thing real wet. You don't want it wet again, because you'll get a bloom where you don't want one. But you can, Uh-oh. I've got a bulge here where I don't want one. Let's see if we can. It's not a wet paper towel. It's damp. And it's gone. It was a damp paper towel. You want to make sure it's clean. Okay, that I wouldn't be able to use that part again because it's got red on it now. But you can take it out. That's one of the privileges. Okay, then it's too wet. So just let it dry. Don't pretend that you've never. You can try even taking it out like that. Get it wet, take it out. The red needs to. Mine wasn't incredibly wet. It was wet, but not incredibly wet. Let it dry and then go back and paint it, because it's not going to behave, because the water will follow. No, the color will follow the water. The water does not follow the color. I'm saying it backwards. When I get tired, I speak things backwards. And I will tell you guys, I was in the ER Saturday. I've had a few too many things happen this last week that really were hard, incredibly hard things. And I'm not going to say the next 2 weeks look promising either, but I do know that our Lord is in charge of it, and I'm just going to let him be in charge of it. I'm not. The doctor said you can't be dealing. See, no, it's just the problems were coming in 3 at a time. It's like 2 nails in 1 flat tire, and I'm pretty sure there's a nail in another one. It's like, what construction site did we hit anyway? I don't know, but there we are. It's crazy. What can I say? Okay, I've got to paint this little piece, the entry shack right here, because the first time I forgot to paint it all together. I had to go back a week later. I go, what is wrong with this? And there's an entry shack over here. I'm going to give it a red roof, but I don't want that to. I want the same red that I've already used, but I don't want it to be bright. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of burnt umber and just add to that, so that it's the same red but duller. And I'm going to put it, you notice I'm not wetting that first. I'm just going straight, wet on dry. That's what I've got, because I don't want this going anywhere. I don't want any monkey business. I don't want anything. I just want it to be there, right there. Now, that is not saturated enough. I will tell you that. But I don't want it to be all that it could be. It's too red. So I'm going to come back in layer by layer and get it as dark as I want it. Okay, it's still plenty wet, even just from my brush. I'm going to bring it in here, because this is going to be dark, because it's on the dark side of the world right here. The light doesn't even really hit this at all. Right there. And I want this to be level. This one right here. Now notice, when you start out here and you bring your brush back and lift, you're depositing color back here at the back. That's going to give us a shadow back there too, without even really trying anything. It makes it a little bit darker right there. And that works for me. I want to pick up a little bit of my dark color And I'm going to start, I want it really watery because I don't want this to be just the dark blue. I want it to be a shadow of white. Okay, so I'm going to put it all in here. There it is. It's there. Then I'm going to bring my damp paper towel. There's nothing on this side of it. And I'm going to just touch lightly right there and bring a little bit of the darkness right there again and touch once more because I want it dark here and here, but nothing up there. And of course, it's going to monkey with my red because that is the way it works. See, a mistake made, but we're gonna fix it. We're coming back in with our rough color and just going one more layer. See, we don't get all fussy about it. We just go, okay, there it is. It's there. Okay, now, is that going to show up the way it needs to show up? I don't know that it is. I may want to bring a shadow back in here on the whole thing just because. But see, but then that little piece right there that I didn't like, it's going to show. But I'm going to put a bush there. I think I'm just going to put some bushes there. Or, I don't know, maybe by the time I get my grass in, it won't matter. I don't know. We'll see. We won't worry. We'll just keep moving. Okay? All right. What green you choose is up to you. I do not have your palette. I do not know what you have on your palette, but you want a green that you can live with. And what I mean by that, I personally would not want my grass to be what Crayola calls grass green. There's nothing wrong with grass green. It's just not my green. It's not one that I would pick for much of anything. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you are in love with it, then you can use it. However, very rarely do we use any of the greens straight off the palette. We're going to mix it with something to be something better, something more nature friendly, I guess, maybe. So I'm going to use sap green because it's a nice and light green. I'm going to put a little bit of my dark color into it because that will help tie the whole piece together, because that darkness is in the sky, it's in the water, it's in the lighthouse, and now it's going to be in the grass. And I still didn't paint that top, did I? Don't let me forget to paint the top. The top of this. I've already got green in here. I'm going to go ahead and do green because, you know, I'm a squirrel that way. You know I am. I'm just, that's me. All right. And I don't want this even. I'm going to say the lighthouse keeper is more concerned about the light than he is about the grass. I'm not saying nobody cares. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's not his best thing. Maybe they've got a kind of grass that doesn't grow real fast. I don't know. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. Maybe they've got what do I want to call it? Ground cover here. Okay, now right there, I want this to get lighter as it comes out here because it's out here where the sun can light it. And it comes over the bluff like so, and it's going to come down in here. And nothing about this is even. It's not even. We don't want it to be even. We don't want the color to be, well, I can't get it all the same color. We don't want it to be all the same color. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We're just getting it green. We do know that we want it darker on the back side of the lighthouse because that is the dark side. Now, I'm not saying that it gets no light whatsoever. I'm saying this isn't where the light source is going to shine quickly and first and best and most. It's just not going to. So, you see how raggedy this is? It's growing on a bluff. And we don't care if it's even. We don't want it even. We don't want anything to look outlined, though. So be careful of that. You don't want outlines, but color differences are good. They're okay. If you looked out at the grass in your yard, it's not all the same color. Even if you have a service that comes and makes it be nice and pretty green, it's not going to be all the same color. Going to put more green into this, blending. This is the sap green, not the darker. I didn't darken this part. And it's just blending with what does have the dark in it. It's coming out here, and it's hanging over the edge right here. I want you there and there. That's what I want. Like so. And that little place back there disappeared. I don't even see it. It kind of blends into the Neverland, and it's okay. I'm going to go back and paint this, not lid, roof. It's not a lid. Hello, Rosebud. It's not a lid. We do not put lids on our lighthouses. We put roofs on our lighthouses. Let's see. I guess, I don't know. Maybe I could use, all right, because I said I don't really want, I'm going to use, I used indigo before. I think I'm going to use indigo again. Right here. Because it won't look black. It'll look indigo. And I want it to be darker on this back side. So I'm going to come here. I lift at the back. Press lift at the back. And then I take everything out of the brush. It's just a damp brush. And I'm going to go down where the light would hit. Just right there. And then I'm going to blend it a little bit. Because it's just a small space. It's not very big right in here. Let's blend it a little. The light's there. Okay, and I just wiped out everything I just did, right? So let's come back in with a clean, damp brush right there. There it is. Right there. Soften it right there. Just like that. I'm going to pick up my dark again and come back here. Darkening just a little bit more there. I might, okay, don't do this till we see what it looks like, all right, because you might hate it. And if you hate it, I don't want you to say, oh, but she told me to do it. No, just wait. I've got the red. I'm going to come back in here with the red because I said I didn't want it black. Damp brush right here, like that. And of course, it has to be funny right here. It has to play games because, you know, we can't do perfection. We don't want perfection. And I'm going to make a little lightning rod right there because this is the tallest thing on the bluff and it might get hit. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Okay, now When you're painting a cylinder, you do, the dark is right here. Okay, now you might have a reflected light over here, but we're not worried about reflected light on a beginner piece. We're not worried about that. So we're going to do dark, medium, light, medium, and maybe a little bit of darkness over here. Not really, not much. Remember that really light bit of blue we put up there? We don't want much there. You wouldn't see it, and we don't want it. Okay, now we are going to let this dry absolutely thoroughly. I'm thinking probably by the end of class we ought to be able to do it. I don't want to do it on a even mildly damp area, because I don't want a black pen to bleed out. That would ruin the entire picture. Throw it in the trash. If it black bleeds, it bleeds everywhere. I don't know how to fix it. I'm just telling you, I don't know how you would fix it. So I'm sorry. If there is a way, somebody enlighten me, but I sure don't know what it would be. Okay, so let's just wait for that all to dry. I'm going to switch the size of my paintbrush. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you, rocks come in all different colors. Okay, so do we paint our rock bluff browns like we did in this one? Do we paint them gray? Do we paint them, I don't know, what do you want to paint them? I'm going to make them brown because I believe for a beginner, that's the easiest to deal with. I am not making a shale bluff anywhere in here. One, I think shale crumbles, and I don't think they would build a lighthouse on it. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that nobody ever did. I'm saying I think it would be a lousy idea. That's my personal opinion. Plus, this is a beginner piece. We want this to be to where somebody that if this was the first thing you were painting, you would succeed at painting it. Okay, so we've got different colors in our grass. We've got our little building here, even though it does have a light spot in the roof that I think there are some shingles missing. I'm not positive. I think there are some shingles missing on this roof. We're going to hire a contractor and we're going to just come in and fix them. There we go. Right there they are. Fix that roof nice and easy, and didn't even cost them $10,000 to do it. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to choose browns. Now, I don't know what browns anybody has, but I'm going to choose burnt umber for my color. So I'm going to put that out on my palette, which means I'm going to mix it off my palette onto, it's off my paint pans onto my plastic mixing palette. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to mix anything with it yet. I will decide that. There are places I will mix something into that. I'll just tell you. I'll give you a hint up front. But for right now, this is what we want. And we want some of that to be nice and juicy. Like juicy with water. All right. And I'm going to wash out my brush. I don't care if it's super clean, because that won't matter to what I'm doing. But there is a section of the bluff right here that I'm going to work on first. I'm going to apply water to it. And I apply water so that I will have time to monkey with the colors and that they can move. They'll move for me. I can kind of, you don't want to play in them, but you want to play with them. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm picking up a little bit of color. And because there's water already down, this is going to come out really light. Is it going to be necessarily what we want it to be at the final outcome? No, of course not. You're the painter. You're going to paint. You're going to do something with it. So we're going to just bring it in here, just like this. Bring it down. Are we going to be all, oh my goodness, I can't get it all the same color? No, we're not. We don't want it all the same color. We really, really don't want it all the same color. Matter of fact, try not to make it all the same color. See if you can do that. See, it's got light places and dark places. And then we're going to come back and do it again right here. A little bit of darkness, a little bit of darkness right here, right here. We're going to bring a little bit of darkness. Wow, I brought a lot of darkness, but that's okay. We're going to leave with a lot of darkness. We don't care. Right in there, there. All right, now, where's the light coming from? It's going to hit, it's right there. It's going to hit here. It's going to catch this grass that's right here. And it's going to be right up in here, but it's not going to be underneath this grass. Okay, we want that to be dark. Now, as wet as this is, are we going to get that dark? No, you're not. You're not going to get it dark. You're going to get it darker, but it's never going to get super dark because it is too wet to stay super dark. Okay, so we're not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to put this in here to where we know where we're going. Okay, we're just blocking in the color right there. I want to pick up some of my green that I used in my grass above, and I want to put it right in here. Now, is it going to bleed if I touch that brown? Probably. But am I going to worry about it? No, because this is a not worrying picture. We're not worried. I'm going to bring some down there, like it's kind of coming over the edge right there. Right there. Okay, we're just blocking in color. That is brown. This is green. I'm going to paint with water right here. This area. Pick up some of that brown. And once again, put right in here. Right down in here. There's a rock here. Just like that. I can pick up some of my more concentrated brown and come up under this grass area. Out here on this edge, I don't have any paint in my brush. I'm just going to move what's here, out here, because that is going to be light. All right, now, is it getting in here? Yeah, because this is still damp here, but we don't care if, I mean, it's all the same bluff. We're not really worried about that, and we're not trying to get it even. We're just blocking in color. All right, so we're going to just not worry about any of it. We're just trying to get the color in here, just like that. Water here. We're going to bring in color here and watch it follow that water we just put on there, right there, just like that. Let's go here again and let it just go right in there. We're not worried about anything. If it mixes all together, we're not worried about that, because there's not a rock rule. You know, there are no rock rules. You can get it to be whatever, you know. You can have lots of lines or very few lines. It needs some because it'll get boring. But whatever you've got in there, it'll work. Okay, just like that. Okay, and this is there's going to be a bulge out right there. It wants to have one, so we're going to let it have one. Okay, we're going to just let it have its way right there. Okay, up in here. I did not wash out my brush, by the way. It's still got brown in it. I don't really care. I'm just picked up water right in here. And it's brown, very definitely brown. Because back in here is where the sun does not shine as much as it does in the front. And all that is wet. Okay. So we're going to let that sit there for just a bit because it is all really, really wet. And we want it to be really, really wet. Okay, we're going to talk about rocks for just a minute. Rocks are not lumps. There are not necessarily 4 sides to a rock. There are 4 sides. No, not 4 sides. What? 6 sides, because it's a cube, to a concrete block. But these aren't concrete blocks. They're in nature. They are rocks. And when they break, they don't break in a way that is nice and even and is going to look like people did it. It broke off this bluff. And all these rocks down here are the reason why you need the lighthouse. Because you don't want a ship coming anywhere close around here, because these same rocks that are here are also out here in the water. Okay, we know that because there's a lighthouse there telling us that. Okay, so listen to what the lighthouse is telling you, and though there are going to be rocks there. Now we're going to block in some colors, and we're going to think all paintings. Hello there. All paintings, you have to think about dark, medium, and light. Without dark, medium, and light, you have no form. You just have a blob. I see beginner painters all the time, and they're showing us flowers. See what I did? And you say, yes. You want to be encouraging. Yay, you did it. Is it good? Maybe, and maybe not. If everything is all the same color, no dark, no medium, no light, that's value. No intensity changes. Nothing's bright, nothing's dull. It's just not. There's not going to be anything interesting there. So you've got to have some of everything. All right. I'm going to come in right here because I think I can right at the moment, and I'm going to reinvent that bluff right there, because it's going to bug me to not have it do what I want it to do. There we go. I don't care about the rest of it. I just want that. Okay. Now, see where this is right here? That kind of indicates that there's something going on there, but there's also something going on right back here. And it's deep and it's dark. And we want that to be there like that. Okay. Now, whatever else happens, we don't care, but we want that. This needs to come up here, straight on up here, just like that. Right there. We don't care what else happens, but we do care about that. Okay. All right. So we've got our bluff set. This is nowhere dark enough. None of it's done. It's not done, but we're going to work on some of these other uneven rocks. All right. When you've got a picture like this, the sun is coming from over our right shoulder, right there, all in there, right there is going to be light. Well, it's going to hit the top of these rocks, but some of these rocks have more tops than you might imagine. Okay, so there might be a top here, but it might not be even. It may come here and then go here and then go here. The way this is coming down, I'm thinking it may come down here too. I don't know. We'll see what it actually does. There's a piece here and it's light there. Okay. This one is going to come out here and it's light here. Don't get in your water. You don't want everything covered up. You want those splashes. We're going to have various places on these rocks. Some of them are none of them are even. None of them are even at all. And you guys, I'm going to tell you, if you want to do any playing and try something, try down in here, because it's going to be under the mat. All right, so I'm going to come down in here Right there that's a rock right there. I don't want this dark here because the light hits it. So I don't want it dark necessarily. We may even come in here and add some additional color. I think I want something right there. It's going to come up here like so. I think I want that. There are no lines here. You're just kind of making it up in your head. You're looking at it going, well, I think there would be a top here. So we'll put a top of a rock there. Going to let it come back here a little bit because overlapping is one of those art words that helps things look realistic. Things in nature overlap. They're not just set out like teacups in your grandma's cupboard. One here, one here, one here. They overlap. Okay? This to me looks odd. I'm not in love with this right there. Okay, now I'm in love with it. No, I'm not. But okay, whatever. We'll go with it. That one's got I would not want anybody to step right there because that's got a very jagged edge and you're going to get hurt. And we're going to come back here like so, there. But of all the things we're going to worry about, that's really not it. Matter of fact, we're not going to worry about any of it. We're not. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow ochre. If you don't have yellow ochre, mix a little bit of burnt umber into one of your yellows. You just don't want it to be a bright yellow. And we're going to just add some sunlight to some of these, just random. You know, it's not everywhere. Probably not back there much at all, really. Little. Okay, then we're going to pick up more burnt umber. And we're going to just come back in here. Okay, wipe out the color and blend right in here. Just right there. We want to see that sunshine right there. All right, then if you were to come right down here, okay, I'm going to pick up some of my burnt umber and I'm going to be here long enough that it's going to stay dark. And this is dry. This paper is dry because if it's wet, it's going to absorb more water and I'm never going to be able to get it dark. Okay, right there. Back in here, right there. I want to come across there, there, and here. This is going to have an edge right there. All right, so if there's an edge here, it can go there, like so. Thinking of your dark, medium, and light. Right there is going to be the dark. Working out into the medium. And the light is never really super light because it's a rock and it's wet and it can be darker. It's not, you know, this is the side. It's not the top. Matter of fact, I'm not really in love. I don't want it to be round. I want it to be like that, angled like that. So, yeah. Anyway, it's going to look rounded. It just wants to. So, I won't tell it can't be. The waves have been crashing against that rock for 1,000 years. So, who knows? We don't know. But we're going to come back down here again. See, every time you touch it, it gets darker. Right in here. It can have cracks in it. There can be imperfections in every rock. It's a rock. You see everything. I mean, seriously, you do. You see everything. And how much and how long you play with that is entirely your call. I'm going to bring light here, but I want it to be darker than that top. I want it to come down here and out here. There's a right there. So how am I going to get these rocks to look different than this bluff? How am I going to do that? I'm going to add my dark color, my indigo that I've put in everything else. I'm going to add it to my burnt umber. And let's see what we get when we do that. I'm going to start in here. See how much darker it is? But we can have dark places and light places, or lighter places, like so. Like so. Just burned umber here. I didn't wash my brush out, so it's not going to look really truly burnt umber. But I don't care about that. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to put a little bit back in here. And tap it, tap, tap, tap. Because I want some imperfections there. Back in here. I haven't added more dark to this. It's just what's already in my brush. And we're coming out here. And even though we want this lighter than some parts, it doesn't have to be light. It can be whatever, because it is a rock. Burnt umber, I want. Whoa, that came out really dark. We'll push it up into the bluff where it can be dark. How about that? Not bluff, into the rock behind it. When I start getting tired, I don't say the right words. Sorry, that's the stroke for you. It just... just like that, down there. Okay, we're not getting all fancy. These are rocks. They're just rocks. And rocks, I'm not going to say are the easiest thing to paint. You would think they would, because we see them all the time. That is an easy thing to do, Sharon. And I will tell you, there are some days that it seems to be more than other days. And it's like, I don't usually have this trouble. Why am I stressing with this? I'm just keep getting too much. Well, it may be that you recognize that and you say, okay, I'm going to do all these areas that I want to be light while I'm getting too much water. And then I'm going to concentrate on not getting water and see if I can change that any at all. All right, now right here, I want this part to be lighter. That's not saying it's light, it's saying it's lighter. Everything in your painting is relative to everything else. Not saying it's cousins. I'm saying some things are light. What's light in one place may be dark in another occurrence. Just depends on what's around it. It's relative to what is around it. This one wants to be something I don't want it to be. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to get that changed. So we're going to make it be what it wants to be. How about that? We'll just let it be what it wants to be. We're not going to fuss with it. Because seriously, you guys, this is the least important part of the painting. I'm not saying it's not important. It's here, so it's important. But I'm saying this isn't a part that we really need to fuss over. All right. As we go along in our painting lessons, there will be a time when we will learn more about rocks and what they can do and how they look, but it won't be all in the same lesson because you're going to grow as you go along. And we want to give you the opportunity to grow. So we're going to give you the opportunity. I just keep growing out instead of growing up. I'm just saying. I have that problem. I try not to think about it, but I think the doctor's going to think about it tomorrow. That's what I think. And I was going to ask my doctor tomorrow about a cardiologist, and I don't have to ask. I misbehaved, and so they found me one. I didn't even have to ask. They go, guess what? Here you are. But yay, just what I didn't want. Another ologist in my life. Okay, I'm going to come up under here and come up here, here. Even though I don't want this to be there. It's not a block per se. It's just a chunk. It's a chunk of rock. It's going to go here and there. Right there. Just like that. You can make these rough. You can spend hours on them if that's what you want to do. I just don't want to do that. I have a life. It's not an important life, but it's mine. I want this darker back in here. Even though you're not going to see it, it's underneath the mat. But there we are. There. It's dark. And this is the top. I want it to come here, here. Like so. It'd be a little lighter than what's behind it, but not by a long shot, because this isn't the light area. And here, and there. Gonna do here, and there. And then I'm going to darken that by going here and darken this here. Darken that, but not this so much. And we're going to just leave that alone. There are our rocks. If there are mistakes in it, which I'm going to tell you there definitely are mistakes in it, but I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to pick up some of my dark, plus I'm going to add some burnt umber to that, or add some dark to the burnt umber. I don't know, whichever way seems to work best, because I don't like this rounded stone. That bothers me. Okay, so then I'm going to come up here under this bluff, and keep in mind this is the light side, but you still have to have some dark in it. Still have some coming up under here. I'm going to turn this upside down, and I'm going to go up underneath this grass, and right here. I'm going to take my paper towel because this is the light area. So I don't, well, I didn't want to take all of it out. I wanted to take some of it out. Well, I guess it's going to be one of those. We're going to call this bluff Don Brown bluff. It's everything or nothing. That's just the way it is. I'm going to come up under here like that, because some of these jags, cracks, whatever you want to call them, don't go everywhere. They just go some place. They go somewhere. A little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of indigo, not too much indigo because this is the bluff, not the rocks. And is the bluff rocks? Yes, it is, but it's one big rock, not lots of small rocks. Well, those aren't small, but you know what I'm saying. Don't you? Do you? I hope so. Oh, that's cool. Like that. Right there. There. Gonna pick up some water. Tap that out on my brush. I want a damp brush. It's a dirty brush. It's not clean, but it's damp. There. That. I want it dark behind this grass here because it takes the dark to make the light show up. We don't want everything to be light. Not everything can be light. You have to have the dark to make your light show up. Now, do I want that to be that light of a green? No, I don't. See the grass up there? I like that grass. This grass needs to be more of more. So we're going to come out here. It's going to go there. Going to come here. Right there. Went over the bluff right there. Down there. And it's just sitting there. What it's doing there, we really don't know. It just kind of grew there. It grew there. I've seen it. I liked it. And I thought, I want to paint that way sometime. And here it is. There it is. Dun, dun, dun. Like that. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe, I mean, you might have some scraggly tree coming out of there, but I wouldn't try that myself. I think it would detract from your lighthouse. But if you did an oops up here somewhere, you could put a little branch or something scraggly there. That would be an oops coverer. Okay. I want more burnt umber. A bit more indigo. Mix that because I want this to be definitely burnt umber, but it's just going to be a darker version of it. Okay. A little bit of water to make sure it's not too dark. And most of that's out of my brush at this point because I took it out because I don't want it to be too much of a good thing. Ceases to be a good thing. All right, now you guys, I'm going to come down in here and do some monkey business just because it's fun to do monkey business here. Not because you'll ever even see it, because you won't. It'll be under the mat. So don't work real hard at it because you won't see it. But you don't know where the person who mats the picture stops and starts things. You don't know where they might stop and start it. So you might want something a little more interesting because they might choose to go behind a little bit. I'm going to be matting my own, so I know I'm not going to choose that. You know, it's easy that way because I know I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to come up under here because this is behind these rocks. I'm going to bring this up here like so because this is the dark side. So I'm going to make sure it blends out, but I've got lots of water available here. See, lots of water there. So I'm controlling how light and dark something is. Water helps control that. Color helps control that. Okay. gonna come back in here in just a minute and do more. It's mighty wet right at the moment. I want this to be shaded but not too light. Right there, right here. And this right in here is dry as a bone right there. So my brush has to be damp or the color won't even move. Right there, but I don't want it to move too much. I want it to be dark right there, there, and there. Like so. Let's bring it down right here. Just like that, and right there. Just like that. Okay, and see how shiny that is? That's wet, real wet. And I don't really think that we can, okay, let's do this. Let's just try it, see what happens. Ha! I like it. I do. So we've got some of that taken out and it left marks. I don't know that I want them circular or anything like that, but having marks isn't a bad thing. It kind of gives you a randomness to the look of things. Oh, I think I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so what are you playing in it for? Tell me that, Marilyn. Why? Because I can't leave things well enough alone. This one right here, I want something on it. It's got to have something there and more of something here. And I'm going to put some here. Okay, fine. Be that way. There. There. Yeah, I like that. Color this right here. Pick up more darkness here. And okay, let's stop. Okay, this one, I didn't like it in the first place, so let's do something there. That works for me. Let's do something there. That works for me. This one, I don't know. I don't think I even painted this one. Don't ask me why I didn't. I just kind of skipped over it. There. And this down here, I don't even know why I'm monkeying with it, because seriously, you would never, ever see it. You will never see it. It won't ever be seen. Okay, I'm going to say that is good for me. I'm going to stop because I will monkey with this for another hour if I don't quit. I'm just going to say. Just saying. All right, and then I'm going to find what I did with my Pigma Micron pen. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to outline right here and right here because these are the uprights that support the light. There's one in the middle here. And probably you could see something on the back, but this is a beginner class, so we're not going to monkey with that. All right, we're going to come around here like that. This has to be straight. This has to be straight. Otherwise, somebody will fall off that catwalk. I will not be responsible for anyone falling off the catwalk. Okay, and I've only got a skinny micron. I don't have a whole set of these. I've only got this one. And so I'm just going to, that gives the floor. And then I'm going to make little bitty uprights going around there so that my grandson won't fall off of it. Because if there was a way, he would. Just saying. I love him dearly, but you know, we got to protect our little ones. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my little brush, probably to a littler brush than I've used so far. And I don't want yellow, but I don't want brown. I don't want green. I think I'm going to use yellow ochre because we have used it in our painting. So it's not going to be a new color. And I'm going to just add a little bit right in here. I did not wet this. I don't want it wet because I've just put that ink on there. Just putting a little bit so that it's not, you know, it's not vacant. It's got to be there. All right, this one is really, truly not shining bright. It's not because it's not dark enough. But we're going to go right out here, like so, like out. And we're not getting all wild and wacky about it. We're just doing a little bit. Is this going to be masterpiece quality? No, it is not. This is a beginner class, and we're not going for masterpiece quality. We're just shining our light. Because I tell you guys all the time, be the light that shines in the darkness. This is you shining your light out. What are you shining? I want to be shining for Jesus. I do. I want to be shining for Jesus because that's who I am. And you may be shining for some other reason, but that's my reason. Okay. I'm not going to say I'm in love with that. I keep wanting to call it a lid. It is not a lid. I'm going to put some more darkness right in here. Blend it out ever so slightly right there. Up in here, a little bit there, not too much. I just want to blend what's there, right there. Leaving that light. Because the light is shining. This wouldn't be shining bright. If it was shining bright, we would use yellow, something that will actually glow. Actually, we would not. We would take out color and put in color, but we're not. We'll do that a different time. You know, I might even say, save your drawing. And by the way, I do want to tell all beginners, the line drawings can be found on Facebook, Paintbrush Brown on Facebook. That's where we put the line drawings for our class. And if you have trouble finding one of them, You can type in the search bar by the date of the YouTube video. No. Yes, I think so. No, they're posted before that. How do you know when it was posted? Got me. I don't know. I don't know. You could say say July, Marilyn Brown July posts, and see what it'll bring up. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. And if you can't find them, I put my email address in the drop-down menu. If you can't find them and you really want to find them, message me and I will attach a line drawing for you so you can get it. You can make it as large or as small as you want. I'm generally working with a 5x7 size because that's what size my mats are. I bought mats off of Amazon. See, and you could see that much of it. You could go out here more. It depends on how much you like your water. So I want more water to show. And I'm not saying that I want a brown mat either, but I think I used my blue one on the eagle. So I don't think I have a blue one. I don't think I do. Do I like that one? Not sure I do like that one either. I don't know if I like any of them, to be really honest with you. But we'll find something that we like and we'll put it on there and it'll all be good. But I don't know. I don't remember how much these cost, but you get 25 of them. And it seems like to me that makes these mats be extremely reasonable. The only thing is, it's going to come in an assortment of colors, and you don't get to pick the colors. So you can consider that a warning. You don't get to pick the colors. Now, I often wondered, and maybe some of you will know, can you paint acrylic over a white mat and make it a different color? I think you could. Especially if you watch that bevel, you don't want to paint your bevel. Although, what would happen if you did? Go back and repaint it in something else? I don't know. What would it be? Critical? Got me? I don't know. I may have to try that and just see what happens if, because I have an inquiring mind that needs to know. Just saying, that's what I think. I'm wondering if this place should have had green, because I've got green in 2 places, not 3. That's going to bug the daylights out of me. Is it going to bug you? Would that bug you at all? I think it's too much salt water down there. I don't think anything will grow very well. But what if I put a little bit right here? Would that hurt anybody's feelings? Because that would just bug me. It would make my life not work right. And this is why I end up in the ER. I'm just going to tell you, this it's just foolishness. That's what it is. It's just foolishness. But it's just been too much bad news coming in one after the other with no let up. I mean, I've had an entire stupid month of bad news. And it's not saying I don't have any good news. I do. I've had wonderful good news. It's just my body said, would you stop already? And the flat tire with the 2 nails in it, it wasn't a crisis. It was just an inconvenience. But then, I don't know, I got bills in on top of it because Don's going to have his cataract surgery. And it's like, But God has taken care of that. And so we're not worried about that. God is good every day, all the time. And I praise him for all of his answers. And the tire it's not a new tire. It's the same tire. They just plugged it. But this is an 01 vehicle. I don't want to spend money. I don't even want to fill the gas tank. It could not last. We could break down on the side of the road. I don't want to do that. That just does not hit me as a great thing to do. Do not fill the tank. It could die at any moment. It's not pessimistic thinking. It's just, I don't want to waste that money. Just saying. Right there. Just right there. I'm going to leave it right there. It's there. I don't have to say it's a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece. It's just a painting. And honestly, I think it makes me happy. I do. I think it makes me happy. And where are you going to sign it? Well, you need to kind of know where your mat's going to be. Right there. I'm going to put the mat right there, which means I'm going to be signing with this with a Pigma Micron pen. I am not signing. Oh, I'm not signing it with a paintbrush. I'm going to put my signature right here. And you say, Marilyn, you're signing it in the painting, not down in the corner. Well, I used to sign it in the corner, and then I got to where I was signing it up in the painting. And I'm going to tell you, sign it up in the painting, because the picture framer told me, if you sign it down here, I have to leave that. I can't cover it. And I might want to be here, but that doesn't really give this is the focal point. You want to make sure you've got enough airspace for it. So you got to leave it. I don't want that place up there that I didn't like. So right there is where I'm going to want this to be. So make sure you're signing it in a place where it's in the painting. Also, in this day and age of digital techie art stuff, I don't know what to call it. They can change your picture. They probably can take your signature out, but I don't want to make it easy for them. If they're going to take my signature out, they're going to have to ruin the painting to do it. It's right there. Now, I didn't put it up here with the focal point. I don't want it up there. I want it down here. I have been known to put it up with the flower, though, because I think somebody would cut my name right out of it. And so, I don't know. I'm never going to be famous. I'm never going to be rich. I don't really care about that. It's just about, this is mine, and I don't want it stolen. Now, you guys, some may ask the question, am I allowed to paint this and sell my painting if I wasn't the one that drew it? I'm going to give you permission right now. If somebody offers you money for your painting, take it and be happy. Yes, you may. I'm giving you permission to do that. Can you say that this is your picture? No, you cannot say it's yours. I drew it. You didn't. Don't say you did. But I will give you permission because that painting is yours. You painted it. Now, other artists have their own viewpoints of that. And in an instruction book or a painting packet, look at it and see whether the artist gives you permission to do that or not. There is one artist I know of. I have not met her. Thank the Lord for that. That gets, she would sue you if you sold a painting, even painted out of a book, if you didn't give her credit. So on the back of your painting, if you wanted to say, this is my painting of Marilyn Brown's drawing, you could do that. On mine, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to sue you for anything. Okay? I'm not even going to come look for you. I would love to see your paintings, though. Post them on Paintbrush Brown. I want to see them. I do. And we did have a group, but then Facebook changed all the stuff that they did, and I don't know, that thing it didn't even look like itself, and there's nowhere for you to post anything. So I just said forget it. I'm not monkeying with that place anymore. I'm not going to monkey with it. Just if you want to share something you've painted, put it on Paintbrush Brown. I want to see it. If you want critique, if you want me to tell you how to make your painting better, send me an email and ask me for it. But you've got to tell me. You can say, oh, Marilyn, look what I did. I won't critique that. If you say, Marilyn, what do I need to do with this? I will tell you one thing. One thing. I will not tell you 20 things. I will tell you one. Okay? I will tell you what I like about the painting. I will tell you one thing you can improve about the painting. And I will tell you another thing I like about the painting. I will not tell you 20 things that you need to do to make that painting better. Even if there are 20 things, I won't tell you. So don't ask me to tell you, because I'm not going to disrespect you that way. I'm just not. If you want to paint that thing 20 times, you could come back and get a different answer each time. If you want to do whatever it was that I told you, and then come back and ask again for another critique, I will give you a new critique. I would do that. But 20 might be too much. I think you're asking me to be too critical, and I don't want to do that to you. I want to encourage you to do the best you can do. Did you give it your best shot? Yes. Okay, good. You're done. Okay? Now, can you make your eagle more rounded on his head to where it looks more dimensional? Sure you can. Can you make your not birdhouse, lighthouse, your lighthouse look more rounded? Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. Maybe you shouldn't. Okay? Some things you just should leave well enough alone. Could you critique that rock? Yep, I can heavily critique that rock. I don't like that rock. Matter of fact, that right there would not hurt my feelings at all. Trim that puppy up, but then I don't like that cloud up there either. I don't like that cloud. So I bring this down and I go, okay, that's good enough. And I just don't have to look at that rock. I don't have to look at it. So the ocean it's rolling in this way. It's hitting back here on the back side of that bluff. It kind of comes out at a point right here. Don't ask me why it did. I don't know. I didn't build it. Yes, I did. I don't know why it is. But it's splashing against these rocks. Crash, crash. That's why you don't have any water over here. It's not coming this way and then splashing over there, because it's not coming from that direction. It's coming right at you. Those waves. Okay? Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions they want to ask? Does anybody want to tell me anything that I forgot? I did the roof. I did the catwalk. I did the light. I did the little building. I did 3 grasses. I don't know. I think I'm done. Do you? Okay. I think we're done. All right. Replay as needed to get your work done. The nice thing about the replay is that you can stop it. Say, wait, you're going too fast. And she will not leave you behind. Me, I'm just trying to cram this stuff in here so you can get this done. Okay? Next time, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I've got a couple ideas in mind. And I just really, well, thank you very much, ma'am. I'm not sure exactly. I know a couple things I want to do. I do want to do a flower series where we paint several different flowers, because flowers are good for you to learn to control that water in the brush. And honestly, all beginners everywhere need to do that. All beginners everywhere need to learn how much watercolor they need to have in with that water. You know, it's just controlling all of it, all the things. Learning about value, that everybody needs it. Put your darks in. Everybody needs that. Okay? So, I don't know. I kind of, there are a couple things floating around in my brain that I really want to do, but I want to keep it beginner friendly, and I don't want to push it too fast. So, I don't know. If there's something in particular that you really want, to learn to do. You can say, Marilyn, I really want to learn to do this. And I'll tell you, yeah, let's wait about 5 weeks for that. Or, yes, that would be a wonderful painting. I do want to do a series on ships because I have to paint a series of ships. I have to paint them. And I'm thinking about bringing you guys along on that journey. Just paint a ship or two, just see. And it's definitely it would be a study in values, how to make that ship look dimensional, not flat. I think it might be kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I want to get a few more lessons in here before I go that direction, because I don't want to blow anybody's brain trying to do something that is significantly hard. Okay. And I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying it would look like it is, because there are a lot of lines, ropes that you can see, a lot of sails, a lot, it's just, there's a lot in one. And I don't want to flip you upside down. I just don't want to do that. So, all right. Well, you guys be the lights that shine in the darkness, reflecting the light that is Jesus Christ to a world that needs to see him. Seriously, no better job in the world to do than that. You guys, let your light shine. Make today a happy day. Only you can. I love you dearly, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.